Okay, here's the run through of my run in the showdown. Didn't qualify straight up this time round. I was like 158th or something, so I got in on the waitlist. Was feeling quite good about this month. I have been playing some decent stuff. I've made a couple of bad mistakes. I know a lot of people don't like this cup. I personally do quite like it. I think team building is very difficult, which is perhaps a contributing factor to why people aren't enjoying it. But I think the actual games themselves, at the time of recording, I've played 33 games, 29 of them ranked, and I honestly believe. So I've won 21 out of the 33 I've played. And I honestly believe that every time, every game, either the person who's lost, be it myself or my opponent, has either deserved to lose, or the person who's won, be it myself or my opponent has deserved to win. Like, I can't remember off the top of my head a game that was decided by pure RPS every game. Yes, there can be some RPS elements in this, but you just gotta, like, don't be running Primeape as a safe swap if your opponent's got a Hypno. You can avoid, it is avoidable, like that. Someone. Yeah, I'll not go into it, but yeah, there are ways of avoiding it a little bit. I mean, in any meta, it's always going to be any meta, and any line has got a opposition line which counters it hard, or which is very difficult to lose. So, I don't think there's anything particularly new here. Yeah, so pardon me. Let's get into it. Round one. Matteo, Rob, interesting team. Kingdra, I don't really have a proper answer to it. So I quite like just bulk in this game, to be honest. Bulk's the best thing to take Kingdra on. He doesn't have a hard counter to Quagsire, so I can use Quagsire as a safe swap, and he really struggles versus Mandibuzz as well. So I've got a lot. He struggles with Mandibuzz. I've got a play here, so let's get in and see how it goes. So mirror lead. When I have Quagsire, so I've got Quagsire and Lapras in the back, so I can safe swap to Quagsire. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to get 2 aerial aces off on it first and try and bank a bit of energy, knowing that if I'm going to beat his Primeape, I need to land an aerial ace on it. So I do that first. I don't go for a couple of aerial aces. I see it's an air slash Mandy, which is interesting, which makes sense. Given that his only hard Primeape counter is Wormadam. I go for Stone Edge here because I know an Earthquake isn't going to kill, and I think the play here in Zeros is 2 Stone Edges. But now I've got the shield, the second Earthquake will kill, I think. But I go for the Stone Edge. I didn't want to risk him dropping a charge move on me, so yeah, not the end of the world. I think I go with Mandibuzz. No, okay. Lapras. So I shield this. He's only got 1 chance to throw a move. I figure when I'm in that position, I often choose to throw Outrage, so I shield that. And it works out nicely. Quagsire just comes in. I think Quagsire beats Shadow Lapras in the ones. So maybe I'm going to try and get out of this at some point. Yeah, there we go. Try and get out of it to save Lapras for the Mandy, knowing that the Mirror Mandy isn't great for me because he's Air Slash. He does catch the foul play there, but it doesn't do that much worse than Aerial Ace, so not ideal for me, of course, but not the end of the world. So of course Aerial Ace this time. I don't quite get it through. No charge on this. I want to try and get a Snarl down if I can. Because if I can get one more charge move on the Quag, that's amazing, but I can't. I'm going to save the shield for Lapras. Hoping I can, knowing I'm close to 2 Silphs. I'm very confident I've got this at this point. So that's game 1. So nice start. I'm happy with that. That might have been the song I was singing to. Game 2. Lead Quagsire this time into Primeape. I can't swap out because I've only got one Primeape counter. So I stay in, I call the bait, and I bait myself, knowing that generally people shield the Primeape for obvious reasons. I get the shield. Good counting from my opponent there, forcing my shield back before I Stone Edge, before I Earthquake. And this is good because the mud shots have added up to the point where only one aerial ace is needed to kill him. I get to the aerial ace before switching out because that means later on I can swap in the mandibles and fire the aerial ace straight away on the Primeape rather than having to race it a little bit, which might be useful. I shield there, get the Skull Bash. So this is going to reduce the amount the counters are doing, so maybe I can get to a Silph if he does bring in Primeape, which he does. But he throws the Night Slash to stop me getting the Silph. And then this could be close actually. I've not seen these back. I've not seen most of these back. So I can't remember what happens. So obviously just going to spam the foul plays. Hope I can get to the last one before. Oh, yeah, just fell a bit short. And I don't think I get a chance to farm him here. Well, I do. Okay. Oh, greed. See, prime example of me not counting there. Probably busy singing instead. Cost me a game. Something I should be working on really. So into the decider. Mandy Quag. I believe Quag picks up the zeros versus Snarl Mandy. So as long as I stay in his shield, I'm in a good spot. I've not brought Hypno in the previous games. In the previous games, Mandy's been my only counter to Primeape. So I'm expecting oh, I don't catch it, that's a shame. Yeah, so I'm expecting him to have Primeape in the back. And I can afford to play a bit more loose with the Mandy this time round. I go with the Earthquake because I know I'm only going to get one. Here I come in Mandy and throw straight away. Don't want to take any more Dragon Breaths. Comes back in with Quagsire, which is encouraging because I was confused at this point about what you could possibly have in the back, because saving 2 shields for Primeape, it can be a bit of a trap because it often is dead before you get a chance to use 2. So I was thinking perhaps it was Wormadam in the back, which would have been bad for the Hypno. So it's going to come down to what he's got in the back. I overtap again. But it doesn't really matter in this instance. But thankfully, it is Primeape in the back, so it's all happy days. Yeah, really bad counting on my part. Well, there wasn't any counting there on my part. I don't know. The thing is, with Count Him, I'd rather try and it uses up brain space, and I'd rather try and use that brain space or that brain power to concentrate on trying to figure out what the back line might be, what my win con is. So it's just not a habit of things I'm into. I've played enough games now to have a reasonable idea of my gut. So, but there are instances like that where it can cost you, especially in metas like this where there are a lot of tight matchups. So certainly I would recommend counting if you can, but I think this is probably an example of me. I know I say it a lot and people don't believe me, but I am trying to take it a bit easier this season. So that's perhaps an example of something I might not have done last year. Moving on to round 2, MHF 90. Gallade, don't know whether that's confusion or charm. Robo Pass, pain in the arse. I'm expecting it to Rock Throw. I really don't. I'm not very keen at all on Spark Probo here. I think Rock Throw is the play, although I don't personally rate it either. I think if you get it in a bad matchup, you lose the game. If you get it in a good matchup, you can still be farmed down heavily, and that can swing the game backwards quite comfortably. So I think I spoke about that before. So yeah, so we'll see what he does, and we'll see what I do. So we'll look. Mirror lead. I've not got a Quagsire Primeape counter in this team, so I'm going to be staying in and I'm going to be using shields. Again, it's important that I beat this, so it's important that I shield. I lose CMP, which isn't ideal, but I can get the farm down because he doesn't shield. Land the close combat. In hindsight, I could have gone for a couple more counters first, but I thought, just why not? And then I see that I'm living the snarls. I don't want to give him energy, so I'm gonna make the bold switch to Lapras, knowing that Quagsire is fairly safe in the back, especially when but we're both down to 1 shield, and that Slither of Health on Primeape might come in useful. He's staying in, which is interesting. I'm going to let that through. I've got very little health left on the Lapras. I could go into Quag to try a really optimistic farm down here, but he recognises that and switches. So good play. I go for Earthquake, knowing that my only play here is to land an Earthquake, and he lets it through. So that's huge for me. And then that Slither of Health on the Primeape does come in useful because I'm able to get off 1 counter, and that is massive because it means I can farm down now. Shielded Dark Pulse, I think long and hard about that, knowing that it was important that I shielded the. I sort of figured that even if it was a body slam, that was going to do more than a Mandibuzz foul play, perhaps, or similar. So I felt fairly low risk. So now it's just a case of can I get to the killing stone edge. I do just about. So great first game. Really pleased with that. Game 2, I lead with the Mandibuzz with the 2 Pro Pass counters in the back. Mirror lead. So again, I like dropping 2 aerial aces and then switching to Quag, because that means that puts him in range of a Stone Edge or a close combat for later on in the game. And I try and bank a bit of energy before I switch as well. So I've got the aerial ace to throw at a Primeape if needed. A bit of a tedious one, but yeah, joking about this with PvP Academicus, saying that I got bored, but there was reasoning behind the switch, and the timing of it. As I say, he's now in range of a Stone Edge or a close combat or close to it, and I've got a lot of energy built up in my Mandy. So I'm happy to let these moves through on Quag. Quag's better in the zeros. I'm able to get a bit of farm on it. Yeah, Quag's better in the zeros, so if you choose not to shield, you're likely to take some sort of advantage off your opponent, be it switch or shield. That gets sketchier as you start shielding. That extra farm was crucial because it means I can get to an Earthquake versus the Ape and force that shield. And then the banked energy comes in handy as well. You can see there I was going for the switch. I missed it. Perhaps a bit of nerves, but I don't necessarily think that was the right play anyway. Now I go for the switch, shields down, and here is mistake number one. As I say, I should be dropping a close combat there. Just big damage. I don't. I go for the Night Slash instead. And then, yeah. Block a Leaf Blade. Trying to throw at nice times to minimise the number of free turns I'm giving him and gain a bit of energy. Should be letting that through. He obviously has to bait. Yeah, should be letting that through. Daft as it sounds, and yeah, he's got the close combat to finish me here. So yeah, made a mistake there by not letting that first charge move through. So down to another decider. Get really nice lead here. Lapras into this Virus. He switches the Primeape and I'm able to counter into the Hypno. Yeah, well, can't say much more than that really. Able to farm him down before he gets the second Night Slash, which is nice, which is why I like the Shadow. And I'm able to drop a nice punch on this Virus, which does close to 50% with the Shadow boost. Can I get to the next one? No. But there's a nice bit of energy for the Lapras here. Do I shield? No, I tank the Dark Pulse. Then yeah, I've got Mandy to take on the Gallade, which is pretty safe. Yeah, pretty safe. So it's looking quite comfortable from here, really. Want to try and save a shield if I can with Lapras, but I'm 2 shields up now, so I think I let this through, just knowing I can save the shield for Lapras versus the Isvilas to help the farm down later on if needed. So I'll probably shield this one. No, even knowing it's going to be a Leaf Blade. Yeah, throw the Aerial Ace this time, knowing that a little bit of yeah, one Ice Shard, and I'm going to be able to throw at the Gallade. So pretty comfortable win in the end. But yeah, as I was saying at the beginning, it's the sort of risky run if you're going to use Primeape as a safe switch. So yeah, got. Don't necessarily know that that's lucky. Don't necessarily know that it's unlucky on my opponent's part, but I certainly think it's certainly the risky run when you say swap Primeape. So don't feel too bad about it, to be honest. Round 3, Gol Mateo. Now this caused a big delay. Yeah, there's no 2 ways about it. I'll show you. Basically, what happened is we played game 1. I'm really pleased with how this game went. I finished this game and thought that's the best game I've ever played. Then my opponent disputed it, and we had a 40-minute delay waiting for the dispute to be solved. So things are a bit messy, but I'll try and do my best to talk you through what happens in this game here. Mew, interesting always. Whiscash, I don't really have a good answer for Whiscash outside of Primeape-ish. Lapras is solid as well. So I'm expecting to see the Whiscash. I'm expecting to see Mew. Probopass players like Probopass. So yeah, that's happy with the line here. So I'll lead Primeape into the Whiscash. This is reasonable. Happy enough with this. So I'm just gonna go for the counters. Drop a close combat straight away. We don't mess around. He lets it through, and I go to Mandibuzz. I'll be completely honest, that was a misclick. I meant to go to Whiscash, to Quagsire. But yeah, so now I'm stuck in a nasty position here. But I know that I can take advantage of this Probo with either Quagsire or Primeape to do a bit of farming come the end of it. But because he's Spark, I'm actually going to be able to get to the switch timer here and come out with quite a lot of energy left on the Mandy. Yeah, so I'm able to bank 2 and switch out with a very small amount of energy, with a very small amount of health. I think I call this bait. Yeah, call the bait. In for the Stone Edge. Got a shield, private shields. Yep. I'm going to get the Earthquake, and I know I am. So yeah, shield, because I want to be able to get that second shield back. And then counted down. In with the Mandy here. Drop the Aerial Ace, and then I'm going to switch out immediately, knowing that he's going to come in with Probo, so I catch that. Primeape lived on pubes there, so that's something to note. Get the farm down. Still got a shield left here, of course. Shield the Whiscash. Go for the Night Slash here, knowing that it's either going to get the shield or the farm down, or the kill. Sorry, there's no shield. It was never going to be a shield, obviously, was it? So loose the Primeape here, and then I've got that last bit of energy left with Mandy. So yeah, I was absolutely, as you can imagine, chuffed with that. But then the reason that the dispute got given was because of when I first came in back with the Mandy and dropped the energy, he apparently switched and it didn't go through. I've seen the footage. I'm unsure either way. I don't want to go into it really. This is game 2, which we played while we were waiting for the decision on game 1. So lead Mandy into an Air Slash Mandy. Not great for me because I have Primeape and Quagsire in the back. I will say at this point I've not played in 40 minutes. Quite nervous, quite frustrated, very annoyed. So just staying in, going for my Air Slashes. I'm going for my Aerial Aces even. So I do what I like doing, switching to Quagsire while he's in range of Stone Edge. He brings in the Whiscash. And in retrospect, this was a silly play. This was a silly play because I needed this to deal with the Mandibuzz. Maybe I wouldn't have done that if I was. Difficult to say, innit? Maybe I wouldn't have done that if I was less frustrated. I don't know, but so yeah, it's going to be uphill from here for sure. Probably come back with Mandy here. I've got energy. No, this makes sense as well. I guess we're going to keep it away from the Mandy. catch the Mud Bomb. Was able to count that at that point. Maybe I must have stopped singing. As I say, I wasn't very happy at this point. Yeah, try and chip away at the Mandy. And hope he's got Probo in the back. That's the plan. Although the fact that he brought Mandy into the mirror suggests he probably hasn't. So I go for the farm down. And it's Primeape in the back, so with 2 shields, they're worthless to me now, so I lose this. So at this point, I think I'm 1-1. Don't know why I even bother throwing here. Yeah, just there's no way. There's no way. And then I find out that the replay's being granted from game 1. So was very, very unhappy about that. So I changed the back line a bit. I lead Primeape and change. I get rid of the Quagsire, knowing that he knows I had both Ape and Quagsire in the first game. Maybe surely he isn't going to bring Probo. Mistake here. I go to I let him get to 2 Mud Bombs. The plan was to close combat and dip, but I let him get to 2, so I'm not able to dip. Or maybe I didn't click fast enough. Either way, it's a mistake. So stay in, try and catch it, but mistime it, and then obviously the Primeape comes in. Didn't mind sort of safe switching the Lapras, knowing that it had Surf to do a little bit of damage to Probo if that was to load the Probo in. So yeah, the Primeape comes in. Now here's the mistake. I go to Primeape knowing I've got a bit of an energy advantage. You know, I brought Mandy specifically to counter Primeape. I should be going into Mandy. Although I don't think it matters because the Mud Bomb. Yeah, and then he's got Probo in the back versus my Mandy. Yeah, so so I'm very frustrated. I think I might even have quit the game at that point for the first time ever in my Silph career as such. I was very, very frustrated because that puts me that puts me 0-2 after playing what I thought was the game of my life. And then I didn't bother recording the third, but similar happened. Brought Probo, lined it up versus Mandy game. So it was down to 2-1. But despite feeling rather tilted, I still felt like I was playing quite well from the first 2 rounds on that first game of round 3. So I spoke to my opponent in round 4. Turns out they were also involved in a dispute in the previous round, so we had a bit of a 5-10 minute break. I went and ate a packet of crisps, calmed down, and then came back into it. Interesting that there's another Wormadam Trash and another Kingdra, so you'll probably see me play something similar to how I played game round 1 with Mandibles and Bulk and Quagsire and Lapras, especially with there being a Mandibles and Frostless there. Lapras looks really nice. So let's get into it. So yeah, Mandy, Lapras, Quag. So I know I lose 1s. I know I lose 0s, so I'm going to either have to shield or dip. But I don't really have a good option to dip to, so unless I'm going to try and time it, switch to Quag and land and tank a Stone Edge. I let it through. That's an interesting play. I sort of wishful thinking here, thinking it might have been a Stone Edge. Yeah. And then in comes the Kingdra, obviously going up for the Earthquake, knowing that I can only get the 1. Thought it was odd that he let that through. straight back in with the Mandy. Don't want to give it any more energy or lose any more health on the Mandy. Surely I've got a shield, yeah. Because if it is ape in the back, I'm done for. Although it's probably a bit late at this point anyway, to be honest. Get the shield back. Go to Lapras. Interesting play. Again, knowing I've got to save that Mandy in case of a Primeape in the back. Quite happy to take the Stone Edge. Able to get to a Surf. And this is huge because it puts him in range of dying to the Aerial Ace. Obviously, he's comfortably in range of dying to the Aerial Ace. He's able to throw before I get to it. You could see me thinking about not shielding, but I was going to get counted down. Again, a lack of counted on my part. I probably could have got an extra couple of snarls in. And now it's a race, which I win in the end, fortunately. So yeah, 1-0 up. So that felt good. Pleased with how I played that. Stuck to the plan. Led the Primeape counter. Saved it. Didn't throw it away. Game 2. Bad lead, obviously, but Mandy's a fairly safe bring versus him, so I can go Mandy safe, and I've got the Hypno in the back. And I'm pretty sure I win 2s. And that's great for me because I can just stay in double shield, line Hypno up versus Primeape, and Lapras up versus something other than Primeape. So I'm feeling really good about this. So yeah, start shielding. Don't want to be taking a second Stone Edge. That much is certain. Yeah, so he's starting to reciprocate the shields. He lets that through. Oh, and he catches on the CMP. So I go for an underfarm here just so I can try and snarl him down, but I get the shield. I'm thinking this is great because I win the race, and then I don't. So this is a bit concerning all of a sudden. So into Lapras. And then do I try and catch a charge move? Maybe not. I don't know what I was doing there. But this is good because I'm going to be able to beat Kingdra to the charge. And then even if Hypno can't quite finish off the Primeape, Lapras is so close to a Surf. So yeah, now Slash is going to do a nice chunk. I'll die to a couple of counters, but I'm so close to the Surf. Oh, I have the Surf, in fact. Yeah, so that puts it at 2-0. So, yeah, close game that for sure. And then the third. Mandibles mirror lead. We've seen this so many times. I'd put money on the fact that I drop 2 aerial aces and dip with 2 aerial aces banked to Quagsire. That's just how I play it. Oh, I go early. Well, now I feel stupid. Let's see what happens. Kingdra comes in. Surely I go 2 Stone Edges. Yeah, don't shield here, because if I shield, I get the shield back, but I just give him energy. So we're at 2s rather than 1 now, but he's energyless, which is good, and I can come in with the Primeape farm down and save shields for Mandy. And saving shields for Mandy is always nice when it's fairly safe. My only concern is that he's got Frostlass in the back potentially. But he can't have because when I know it's Mandy, because we saw it in the lead. So, oh no, maybe I'm just silly. Again, I'm fairly sure I win twos. Obviously, I'm at a health disadvantage, but it's less than what a Stone Edge does anyway. So I don't think that health disadvantage actually matters. Because I'm not going to get Mudshot down here from this range. Shout out to JKG for Mudshot. Lose the race. And this is a little bit silly, maybe, I don't know, because as I've said earlier, sometimes saving 2 shields for Primate can be a bit silly. But I think in this instance, probably in the moment, knowing that there was nothing that was going to do serious fast move pressure to me, it was safer to save those shields. You know, it's not like I'm going to be Air Slash down or Dragon Breath down by either the Snarl Mandy or the Mudshot Quagsire. So I'd probably a safer instance of saving the shields there. And I'm able to finish off the Quagsire. So bounced back from my 3-0 trouncing from Tilt City to get a 3-0 in round 4, putting me at 3-1. Feeling genuinely at this point, I felt like I was playing the best I've played all season. Despite there being a couple of mistakes thrown in there, like realistically, I probably should have 3-0'd in round 1, and arguably should have 3-0'd in round 2. Certainly, round 3 wasn't my best. Play, that much is for sure. But I think overall, I'm really pleased at this point in time playing. And then I see this team, round 5, Inca Knight, just odd. That's just not what I've been playing this month at all, so I was a little bit confused. Really liked Lapras. I really liked Dragonair. Dragonair I like versus the sort of element heavy teams. So we've seen Stunfisk and Ninetales here, so Dragonair will beat those really comfortably. I think Swagglers beats it, but it's not going to enjoy beating it. It's pretty neutral versus Hypno and Primate, and it can take certs from Lapras really nicely, so I think we'll see a bit of Dragonair here. Before we get into this, what I will say is I lost this round 3-0, and the reason I'm only going to show game 3 because he ran the same line all three games, and this game 3 was the closest I got to beating it. I just don't think there's much. I did watch these back, this round back, just to see whether it was worth showing on 3. I really don't. But yeah, so we'll just show round 3 because it was the best game. So yeah, Mandy, Dragonair, Lapras. So Mandy into Primate feels pretty nice. Now this is a problem because obviously I have nothing that can win Switch advantage back off Lapras. I shield it because it's a big bait, that is, and I need to try and win Switch back if I can. I feel at this point. Probably less inclined to shield this one now I've got the defense boost. Do I go for a bait? That's the question. Do not. That's a relief. What happens now then? Primate, yeah. Able to land a Surf. Though he probably shields, doesn't he? And straight back into the Mandy to drop an Aerial Ace to put a bit of shield pressure on it. Hoping that Dragonair with a shield advantage can pull through at the end. Do I let this through? No, shield it, that's nice. think from even health, Mandy beats Silas in zeros. Obviously, I've got a lot less health, but I have got a lot more energy. So I feel like this is going to be a close individual matchup here. Yeah, good counting from my opponent there to throw before I have the aerial ace, and then I switch out, saving the aerial ace. Tank the body slam. Now I just got to hope I can do enough damage to the primate to the point where the aerial ace kills, but I wasn't able to get many dragon breaths through. Yeah, not getting to the aqua tail was big there. Throw the aerial ace and then hope I can finish it off. But no, Lapras just hasn't quite got the health. So yeah, as I say, that was the third game of an 0-3 demolition there. Yeah, so we'll move on to round 6, and again, I was a little bit caught off guard here by the Meganium. I was sort of, there being no Hypno here, or sort of Dragonite or Wormadam or Mantine or Pelipper or anything of that sort of description. I was quite confident that this was an Air/Mandibuzz, which I always struggle with because obviously you lose the mirror there, which is a big thing, because you know I lean on Mandibuzz quite heavily here, and I also lean on Quagsire a lot, as you've seen. Obviously he's got the Meganium, so I was, yeah, perhaps overthought this a bit. Yeah, Probopass. Again, I kind of feel like Probopass users use it a lot, so I'm really wanting to bring Quagsire, and I'm really wanting to bring Primeape, but knowing that there's Mandibuzz there and the Meganium there makes it a real risky game. Yeah, it's a tough call, this. Maybe I should be using Dragonair quite a lot as well. It's fairly neutral, but again, didn't play this very well. Got 3-0'd. I think in all 3 games, Quagsire ended up. I couldn't keep the Quagsire away from the Meganium, or they weren't close. So this was game 2, which was the closest of the bunch. Again, I don't want to be one of those guys that doesn't share the losses, but if I feel like there's not much to talk about or learn from, so quite happy here. I got Mandibuzz lined up versus the counter, and then this is silly. I was really, I should be switching to Mandibuzz here, I feel, or Primeape, or anything. I need to switch, but I need to switch quick because I need to save this Primeape's health. And by the time I didn't clock in my head that I needed to switch. By the time I did clock, I just thought I'll stay in and take a shield, and that's a bit of a disaster, really. Late decision to shield the Aqua Tail. I'm hoping that the Night Slash will kill. Falls just short, but the counter takes it out. Hoping I can get to a close combat, but not quite because of the Air Slash pressure. Have to come back in with Quag, surely. Wait out that switch clock. A shield, because I know I need to land a Stone Edge, or at least try to do so. Meganium comes in. This is good for me, of course, but he's still got that shield in hand to block the Stone Edge, so it's game. I feel the Mandibuzz is going to, by the time the Frenzy Plants have done a bit of damage, the opposing Mandy's going to be able to come through. So you can see I'm trying to store a little bit of energy, but I kind of know it's over, really. yeah, just sort of waiting for the inevitable at this point. And then, yeah, one final Frenzy Plant to really seal it. Go straight to the Quag, hoping that I can get 2 Stone Edges. Fall a little bit short. Yeah. Don't know why I'm extending the inevitable here. You can see by the end of it, I chose not to throw, but yeah. So down to back at 3-3 now. 2 3-0s in a row, 3-0 losses in a row. I think that's the first time that's ever happened to me. Was hitting the grit score at this point, so just really wanted to come back and win the final round. And I was a bit hesitant because as I say, I wasn't thinking very well, wasn't picking very good lines. The way I'd gone from playing really, from being really confident and playing quite well right at the very start to this, which is the only way I could put it. So into round 7, Carlos, another Ninetales Stunfisk team. So maybe I should be going with the Dragonair here, but that Gallade is a little bit off-putting because I don't know whether it's Charm or Confusion. I remember in my head thinking it was probably Confusion because he had the Stunfisk and Lapras to deal with Mandibuzz, and the Lapras and Primeape to deal with Spilus. So yeah, I remember in my mind thinking it was Confusion. So I wasn't particularly worried at the beginning. Not that I think Charm's particularly worrying here, but it gives Hypno a tougher time, doesn't it? It gives Mandibuzz a much tougher time. It gives Dragonair a much tougher time. But it is slower to the Leaf Blades, which helps Quagsire out a lot. But yeah, start with my my trusty Mandibuzz Primeape Quagsire line. Let's have a look. So Mandy mirror lead. You'll love to see it. He switches out, which I thought was interesting, so I go straight to Primeape. I let this through. Well, now I can take some sort of advantage out of Lapras, and then I'm an idiot because I don't throw. I'm just stupid. Like that was. There's no defense for that. Like I knew I wasn't going to get to 2 Night Slashes. I don't even know why I was trying. I should just be throwing. Yeah, so obviously all going wrong, and then I have to give the shield back. I'm going to go for a really aggressive farm here, I think, or maybe not that aggressive. I thought I remember going for a lot more, having to waste a lot of energy to deal with that Lapras. In a bad spot. Surely Primeape just beats me now. Yeah, let this through. Go for the premature Stone Edge. Try changing my mind last minute just in case it hasn't gone through, but it does. But I get the shield anyway, so and then into the Mandy mirror, and now Mandy's just got far too much to do. So we'll just have to sit here and watch this. And yeah, I was really annoyed at this point because I'd sort of I thought I'd sort of got myself back together a bit after losing the six in a row, and I thought I'm gonna stop playing well again, stop being really trying to concentrate. And then I did that with Primeape versus Lapras and not throwing, and I thought, well, what is even the point? Just slowly having all this time to stew on it as I slowly lose to the Mandibuzz mirror. And I'm not even gonna shield. There's no way I win this. Because that Primate just has too much health. So on to game 2. Here comes the Dragonair. Realize it looks quite strong. Lead Quag into Mandy. Happy with this. He goes to Gallade. I can counter it with Hypno. It's Charm, so it's a bit annoying. Surely I shield. Yeah. Go for the farm down. It's the Mandibuzz. This isn't ideal by any means, but the extra shadow boost is going to give these Ice Punch a bit of a kick. And I'm at 2 of them. Might even be able to get to 3 here. But I saved that little bit of health in case he's got Primeape in the back. Lapras comes in on the Dragonair. I choose to try and tank this. I tank it. I get the Dragon Pulse. I get it through. Happy days. Mandy at the back. Get the Ice Punch. Now this is crucial because it's going to put him in range. Oh, it's not going to put him in range of anything. Yeah, but it means that that's one less shield that Quagsire has to take. So I should just be able to outrace him here. Shouldn't be that close. I know the outcome of this, but I still think it's close. Tank it, lad. Go on. Oh. Pubes. Quagsire gets through. Buzzing. Absolutely buzzing. So into the decider. No, he likes his Mandibuzz, so I'm going to go with Lapras this time instead of my Mandibuzz, which means I'm going to put Hypno up front because I need to, in case he leads Primeape, I need to deal with that. Into the Lapras, which is a fairly neutral match. It just depends on who wants to invest shields. He was probably trying to throw at a good time there, which is why I get to the Shadow Ball first, and it goes through, which is massive because again I'm sticking to the plan. I know I need to save this for a potential Primeape, so I'm going to shield and farm down. Don't know why I try and switch to Lapras there. That would have been silly, but fortunately the confusion goes through. Mandy comes in, and I know I can safe swap to Quagsire because even if he does come in with the Primeape, I'm going to get that shield back. Yeah, there we go. You see me going to go for Stone Edge first throughout the evening. Wasn't gonna dick around with that at this point. Tank the Night Slash, gets the boost. Back in with Hypno. Gonna go for the farm down, but then I decided to throw at a really bad time. So I shield. And then the Ice Punch goes through, and I undercharge desperately, hoping it doesn't go through. But he shields, and he switches. I can go back to Lapras. Now I've just got to hope I can get the 2 Silphs, which I'm pretty sure I can. And I'm nice and low health as well. I don't want that Primeape to be able to farm me. I don't risk letting another Air Slash through to lower that health even further. I don't want to risk that. And then I've just got to hope that so one counter takes me out anyway, so that's the right play. Just got to hope that I can either confusion him down or get the Ice Punch, and I confusion him down. So yeah, great finish to the tournament, and I'm able to pinch a positive result. Despite only winning, what was it, 9 of my 21 games, getting the 4-3. Yeah. I suppose I was happy. Well, I had mixed feelings because obviously my 3 losses were all 3-0, and obviously that hurts. But I felt like my wins I played really well in. I had to play really well to get them, and I think at times tonight, some of my play in this showdown has been probably the best I've played since Sorcerer's Cup. Sometimes, yeah, some of tonight has been the best I've played since Sorcerer's Cup, but also there was some dreadful lines in there, and yeah, this is what's annoying me at the minute. Like, these showdowns, I'm positive in 2 of them now, back to back. You can see some of the names of people that also went 4-3. Big names, Vanny, Savage Boy, Ventuski. They're the 3 that sort of stand out to me. But then that I'd never heard of them, but they were on the stream, so they must be decent. Ali Luki, we know, is a great player through the YouTube stuff. Fabulon, always had good results. I think he's French. Coda Beast, he's doing well this season. Parzibal, Andy Up, I know, is good from Norway, I think, as well, or somewhere in Scandinavia. So I'm going toe to toe with these players. And obviously I don't see their games, but I imagine they're picking lines much more sensibly than I am. They're making less silly mistakes than me. Like when you look at this screen now, Dresner won 8 out of the 21. I won 9. But there's people there with 13, and that suggests to me that I'm making a lot more mistakes than they are. Yeah, I'll stop. I just, what annoys me with myself at the minute, like 4-3 in these showdowns, you would expect, or certainly I would expect, there to be a noticeable, or at least significant boost in results elsewhere. Because I'm playing the best in the world here, but that hasn't necessarily been how it's played out the past couple of months, and I think that speaks to 2 things. I think that shows I'm sometimes my own worst enemy, making silly mistakes, picking silly lines, and I just need to stop that. I don't know why that isn't happening. It's been happening for months now, and I need to stop that. But it also speaks to the strength of the UK player base. Most of the tournaments I play in are sort of UK based with players from the UK, or heavily weighted towards UK based players, and the fact that certainly by my results, and I know Aero Bubble went 3-4, did similar. Spock went 5-2. The fact that we're getting these sorts of results, and they're not noticeably different from results we're getting, or not too far, or certainly in the case of Aero Bubble, like he's a damn good player. He's going positive in all of his tournaments outside of this, but 3-4 obviously is nothing to scoff at. But the fact that we're getting myself, Aero and Spock, and I'm sure there's other people as well. The fact that we're getting similar results in Showdown against the best in the world, that's what we get in Gym, in Belters, in All Stars, that sort of thing. I think that shows the strength in depth of the UK scene, which is really good to see. I'm chuffed about that. I know the Gym Breakers team's doing well as well. We lost in the final in Nightfall, which was great to be part of. I'm even if I don't qualify for another one of these, like personally, I feel this season there hasn't been a meta that stood out to me and looked at. And then I've looked at it and I thought, right, I'm going to smash this. Like sort of Sorceress or Rose Cup last year in the past, and I'm still I'm underperforming. I'm not happy with my play, with my ranking, with my win rate. I know I'm trying to take it a bit easier this season, but it's very difficult for me to do that. But if I can just keep in contention and just hope that the second half of the season comes back to sort of time-based metas or things set up in a way that I feel confident with, hopefully I can start putting some form together again, and maybe go a bit further in one of these showdowns. They've done great for me, these showdowns, because I remember being dead nervous before the last one, thinking there was no way I was going to win, thinking I'd have been happy with 2 wins out of 7. I reckon the tournament that suited me, but based on how these have gone, I don't see a reason why me at my best couldn't get a 6 here. Maybe that sounds cocky, I don't know, but yeah, just really keen to get back to my best and do one of these at my best. But we'll see what the future brings. But yeah, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed.